welcome everybody back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. We've got Guilherme from Brasil Spurs with us, and he's come to talk about the disgusting performance by Jose Mourinho's team in the 3-1 defeat to Liverpool. Guilherme, just give us a view on the match and what you thought about it. First, start with the formation and then the way they played. Please, go ahead.
The formation, it's exactly what I expected, considering that he put it to practice against Sheffield. The first half was quite okay, We got a little bit unlucky with Son's offside goal. Højbjerg and Bale were doing a good job in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
But at halftime, I think Jose smoked crack. I cannot understand, You put Lamela, you put Winks, players that have been downhill for quite some time, and now with the Harry Kane times always individual mistakes, and the problem with Jose's team right now, you see no signs of improvement, We've been relying on Harry Kane and Son and Ndombele to pull something out of the head, but as a team, as a unit, we've been disgraceful. And what will you do without Harry Kane?
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane is out for a few weeks. We've got to play Carlos Vinicius. But what do you think about, Matt Doherty at left back, Aurier at right back, and then a back three? This is Liverpool, is the worst team for a long time, and he's playing a defensive formation. What's wrong with him?
I don't know. Looks like Tottenham is rehab now for bad teams and bad players. The playing Matt Doherty on the left wing was no sense for me. Made no sense for me, considering that we have Davies. That's a traditional left back. But we did quite all right with that formation the first half. But we have a good squad now. You got to give more.
But how can you justify, if you want to win the match or at least score some goals, you put Winks and Lamela. Lamela didn't even touch the ball, I don't think, in the second half. Winks was hopeless. Why not you pull in Carlos Vinicius and Gareth Bale on to try and win the game?
You got to ask the Portuguese man. Lamela, since the beginning of the last season, he has like 2 goals and 1 assist. That's not enough. That's not nearly enough. And Winks reminds me a bit of the Ryan Mason situation. Born and bred Tottenham, identifies with the club, but unfortunately he's not good enough. He's very weak. He has the physicality of a hobbit. He can. You see player like Milner. He's like 35, 36 years old. He was passing Winks like he was a kid.
Yeah. So what formation?
And he doesn't add.
So, Guilherme, what formation would you have played? If you were the manager of Tottenham, what would have been your starting lineup?
I would go with a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Perhaps with Sissoko sitting alongside Højbjerg, to add that physicality, to give more space in Ndombele to float above them, because he's been an outstanding midfielder this season. I would never.
Who would you play at the back? So who would be your centre backs?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course, man. Why is he not playing?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He doesn't have to pay for the rest of his life. Dyer, he struggles against big side, against big opponents.
Dyer looked really bad.
Joe Rodon, he's amazing.
Joe Rodon made a mistake, but he's a young player. So your centre backs would be Rodon and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the right back. Who would you play at right back?
Sergio Aurier.
Okay, and left back is Ben Davies, yeah?
Aurier going forward, but poor. I don't know what happened with Joseph.
So what are we going to do now moving forward? Who's going to play now that Harry Kane is injured? Who would you play up front? Gareth Bale or Carlos Vinicius?
I think I'll give Carlos Vinicius a run. He did quite all right when he played. Of course, he played easier opponents for that matter. And I would like to see what he can do. And if he doesn't give what we expect. We can try, perhaps Gareth Bale as a centre forward, or Son as a centre forward with Bale and Bergwijn,
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Lamela in my club anymore.
Yeah, Lamela is useless. He needs to go. Useless. But so what do you do? What do you do? I mean, what do you think against the match against Brighton? Though, do you think we can win that match? We can't get. It's difficult to get top 4 now.
Yeah, the title race is completely over now for us, and yeah, the top 4 is our goal, alongside with the Carabao Cup final and perhaps some good run in the Europa League. But it is scary right now. Ray, I was doing some math earlier today.
Yeah.
No, we dropped 2 points against Fulham, 2 points against Wolves, 2 points against Palace, against West Ham and Newcastle.
Yes.
Those 10 points, difficult league like the Premier League, but we are accountable for our own mistakes. We have no one else to blame. We should be in a better spot. We have the players. I really don't know what's going on in our club.
But do you want Jose out?
And with Brighton,
should we get rid of Jose? Who are we going to bring in? If we get rid of Jose now, who would you bring in?
We're talking about Nagelsmann. He sounds the better option, but I really don't know.
What about what about Andre Villas-Boas? Get him back.
No way, man. Because
what about Big Phil Scolari? He's available, isn't he?
Jesus Christ, man, never. He's outdated,
He won the World Cup. He won the World Cup with Brazil. Come on.
Yeah, but it's almost 20 years ago, Yeah. And he had Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, If he doesn't win this type of players, Cafu, Roberto Carlos, He's not going to win with Lamela, with Bergwijn, with
So we can't get AVB, we can't get Scolari, Nagelsmann, we can't get, who are we going to bring in? If we sack Jose, who's going to come in? What about Massimiliano Allegri?
But he's available in the market. But I think we're going to stick with Jose until the end of the season, And if we change managers in the middle of the season, 2 seasons in a row, that's going to be really bad for our short-term future. We're going to start the work from zero again. Sell players, buy players. It's like getting some steps back. But Jose, a manager of his caliber, he's got to do more, man.
Not good enough.
We don't have any game plan. Don't have any game plan. Quick passing and moving.
Yeah, it's no game plan. It's rubbish. I think he needs to go. But I wanted to thank you for your time on the call, on the podcast, giving your views. And if you give some words of encouragement for all the Tottenham fans watching this video. Give some encouragement, Guilherme.
I need to find some encouragement first. But no matter how dark the night is, the sun always comes. So let's hope that a summer night and not a winter night comes.
Very good, very good. Now I want you before we close. I want you to say "Come on, you Spurs" in Portuguese.
Vamos Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.